could be anywhere in the state, and no matter where you were in all of Florida, you would be 60 miles or less from the closest beach. I'm saying that because we are heading to the coast for a couple days of cold weather camping, and I thought it was the perfect time to share with you 7 simple hacks and 7 cool items, no pun intended, that will keep you warm and help you survive cold weather, car camping, or just sleeping in your vehicle in general. So stay tuned. By the way, yes, I did say cold weather car camping on the coast of Florida. Florida has decided to participate in winter this year. We're actually supposed to be having a record January and February in terms of stormy and really cold for Florida standards. So, perfect timing for this video. I'm Heather, by the way. This is my channel, Heather's Hikes and Adventures. And if you are new here, welcome. If you are not, I am happy to see you again. I am hoping that this cold weather car camping goes as planned. I am utilizing my super minimalistic setup, so I don't have my 0 degrees sleeping bag or any of that. But we're not supposed to get down to below freezing at all. I think the lowest it's going to get is like 40 at night. So even though it'll be windy and chilly, I think we'll be fine with my other hacks. Check in with you when we get to camp. Sorry for the lighting. I'm getting to camp super late, which also means it's starting to get cold again. So before I head into the back to show you the 7 really cool items that I highly recommend you get before going through winter, let's talk about 7 simple hacks real quick first. Let's get into it. So number 1, above all else, you have to get into the right state of mind. So first hack, number 1, to get through cold weather camping is you are going to want to get used to the idea of heating yourself rather than your environment. So normally if you're in a sticks and bricks, a house, a condo, a hotel, whatever the case may be, you are going to heat the room that you're in or the building that you're in to stay warm. When you don't have heat, you can't really do that. So since I don't have a continuous source of heat, I have to come up with other ways, which means that it's easier to keep myself warm or as comfortable as possible than it is to try to make my entire surroundings that way. So number 1 hack is you want to get used to the idea of trying to keep yourself comfortable rather than your entire surroundings. Okay, hack number 2. And this is something that I've just started doing last winter, towards the end of winter, and it worked really well. I used this method in the mountains. Also worked really well when it was in the 20s and it was already like 30 something inside my van. And that is, before I'm ready to turn in for the evening and kind of relax, I will run my engine long enough to I'll turn on my engine long enough to run the heat for about 15 minutes, just to bring the temperature up to a warmer level, almost to where I start to feel a little too warm, and then I'll cut it off. That gives me kind of a good base because I know that the temperature is going to slowly start to drop, but it'll be a little while before I start to feel cold again. So that is my trick number 2. Hack number 3. You are going to want to start doing this immediately because it is a game changer and makes all the difference. Pick out your outfit that you're going to wear the next day, the night before. Put it in your sleeping bag or in your bedding with you. That way your body heat will get it nice and warm. When it's time to get dressed in the morning, you don't have to worry about the clothes that you're getting ready to put on being absolutely freezing. Trust me. It is so much nicer to put on a warm, cozy pair of pants than pants that feel like ice. Hack number 4. You lose the most heat from your head and your feet. Oh, hey, look at that. I made a little rhyme. So you want to keep your head covered with a nice warm beanie. You want to keep dry, warm socks on your feet at all times, especially at night when you go to bed. It will make a big, big difference. So hack number 5 is going to seem a little odd, and you might think that I'm a little cuckoo for suggesting it, but you are going to want a fan. I know normally that's something you hear when you're watching tips on how to stay cool in the summer, but it is so important to use it to fight condensation in the winter. I create so much condensation when I sleep with my body heat, my breath, trying to keep the inside warm. So I need to keep this air circulating and moving. So I'm going to keep my windows cracked just a little bit. I do have my rain guards, so I will keep them cracked just a little bit. I don't get too much of a draft that way, but with the fan circulating, normally I'll tilt it up or, not right on me. But that just kind of keeps the air flowing, and then it goes out the little cracks and stays nice and fresh. And I hardly ever, ever, ever have any condensation issues. That brings us to hack number 6, which I don't know if I can really call a hack. It seems kind of common sense, but it's really honestly something that I didn't think about until I thought about it. So I feel like it's worth mentioning in here. Take advantage of coffee, tea, soup, nice warm casseroles, stew, hearty, warm, hot meals, especially if you end up finding yourself having to cook inside with, the proper ventilation. That will keep you warm and also heat you up as you eat it and as you're cooking. And that brings us to my final hack number 7, and that is use your window covers. Might seem kind of like an odd suggestion, but use them. Take advantage of them, especially if they're the insulated kind. I have the WeatherTech window covers, so now that it's getting ready to get dark, I'm getting ready to put them in my windows so that I can kind of hold the heat in a little bit better. It makes a big difference. I'm going to go do that right now, and then I am going to meet you inside once I am settled in for the night and show you 7 items that I think you definitely need to get through winter. Be back in a minute. Okay, we're in the back in the living quarters of Tara now, and I'm ready to share my 7 awesome items with you. First up, this adorable little baby. This is a hot water bottle, but it's wearing a cute little turtleneck. Isn't it adorable? Okay, enough about that though. But it is a regular hot water bottle, and it's got the little screw cap. You can pour the almost boiling water in. They don't recommend that you put boiling water in, although it's supposed to be able to withstand it. And then it's got its little sweater on like I do, so that it'll help keep it warm and also not go directly on your skin. And then you can either keep this on your torso, put it in your sleeping bag, whatever, but this will make you nice and toasty. So definitely get a hot water bottle, preferably one as adorable as this. All right, let's go on to number 2. I did a post about these, and I know I talked about them in my fall trip videos, but I don't think I've ever specifically called them out. These are awesome USB hand warmers. They have, down there, you can see they've got 3 settings. You've got low, medium, and the hottest. You just hold them in your little hand, or you can do like I did during my really freezing cold trip, is I like to pop one in my sports bra between my breasts, kind of right there at my core. And let me tell you, that warms you up real quick. But these feel so nice, especially since my hands are cold all the time lately. And they came with this nifty little USB splitter thingy with the USB-C charging. You can use a regular USB-C too, but this way you can charge both at once. And they stay, I would say, I used them on low or medium most of the time, and they definitely go at least 3 or 4 hours, at least, before I had to recharge them. I think longer. Highly recommend. Number 3, I actually just did a dedicated video on. I keep it in the cool little case that it came in, but a heated jacket. This one is one by iHood that the company was generous enough to provide for me in exchange for a review, which I will link in the description below if you want more details on it. But any kind of heated vest or heated jacket, especially one that's rechargeable like this, that's USB, got a little USB rechargeable battery bank, worth its weight in gold. Not only do I just love the jacket, but it made such a huge difference hiking, when I was around camp before turning in for the evening. It's not like you're going to get super duper duper hot wearing it, especially if you already have a thicker layer on and you can't feel it right up against your skin. I kept it on like low or medium. I never even used the highest setting, but it almost just kind of envelops you in like a little bubble of warmth so that the cold can't penetrate. So it's not like you get hot. It just keeps you from getting cold, if that makes sense. I only wore that over a regular long sleeve t-shirt when I hiked Cloudland Canyon. And when I started that hike, it was like 34 or 35 Fahrenheit. And I was not freezing wearing just that jacket. Normally I would be like bundled up in layers and be peeling them as I hike. So it was so nice just having the one jacket over it. I'm telling you, heated vest or heated jacket. All right, next. I do not have number 4 with me. Again, it's not going to get down below freezing on this trip, so I wasn't too worried about it. And I'm doing my super minimal car camping setup where I don't do hardly anything before I'm ready to hit the road. So I didn't bother with it this time. But get a good quality, cold rated sleeping bag. How cold rated? I don't think I said that right, but I think you know what I mean. Will depend on kind of where you're going to be doing most of your camping. I'm mostly in Florida or the Southeast, so I don't need one that's going to be like -20, but it does get below freezing when I camp. The one I have, I think honestly, I always say it's a 0 degree because that's what it said when I bought it. But when I did my research, I think it's actually rated for 20 degrees Fahrenheit or above, which doesn't mean that you're going to be toasty if it's 20. It just means that it'll keep you alive at that or higher. So that's kind of what the cold rating means. But a good quality sleeping bag or good quality bedding, quilts, down comforter, that kind of thing, definitely worth it because it will help you hold in that warmth that you need. Most of the time I end up sweating in the middle of the night when I'm in my sleeping bag and I have to like stick an arm out or pop a leg out or something. So good sleeping bag. All right, number 5, I kind of did as a combo or an either or, something in this genre. You're gonna want either a heating pad or a 12-volt heated blanket. Definitely get a 12-volt if you do not have unlimited power, because the regular 110 kind will suck up your power source big time. The 12-volt uses much less energy. Granted, it won't get quite as hot as the standard electric heated blankets do, but what I like to do is lay this down underneath me or in my sleeping bag, and then it kind of keeps the cold from seeping in, and it also like keeps my body heat kind of contained, so it kind of cocoons me in warmth versus, again, like that whole, like, you're not going to get real hot using it, but if you use it properly and make sure you spread it out, don't, crimp it up when you're heating it, it really does make a big difference. I personally prefer it underneath versus over. I like to use normal blankets over top of me, and then I feel like the heat kind of rises and then the blanket traps it in. So I feel like it's more effective that way, but I'm not a scientist. What do I know? I do know you need a heated blanket or a heating pad. All right, let's move on to number 6. We're almost there. Number 6, I'm also not going to bother showing you because it can vary widely, but get good quality base layers. Merino wool, my favorite. It's a natural fiber, so it's moisture wicking. It's not like cotton where it's going to trap in sweat if you do get warm in the middle of the night. It'll keep you dry, and it is great at keeping you warm. So it has kind of like the warmth factor of wool without the scratchiness that you normally associate with it. Love merino wool. I was skeptical for years, finally tried it, I'm sold. So I highly recommend that you get good underlayers. With those, you don't really need much more to stay comfortably warm, for overnight time. All right, number 7. You're gonna laugh at me since I am a Florida girl, but I am telling you, I swear by these when it gets super cold. Okay, don't laugh. All right, I keep number 7 in here because it's so nice and squishy for a pillow. And I'm not gonna bother taking them out, but snow pants. I have my down alternative puffer jacket, and then I got myself a pair of snow pants because I don't have to worry about them like getting wet if I'm sitting out at camp and it's kind of a little damp and cold outside. Like the wet won't get through because, they're made for being in the snow. But I love to put them on over my leggings when I'm at camp, because then when I am ready to turn in for the night, I can just shed my snow pants, and then I'm inside ready to get into my bedding all nice and toasty. But before then, or early morning when it's still super chilly before the sun is kind of coming out and seeping in, snow pants. Don't knock it till you try it. So there you have it, folks. That is 7 simple hacks and 7, I don't know why I switched them around like that, got a little fancy, and 7 awesome items that are going to get you through winter. They are going to help you survive cold weather car camping, sleeping in your vehicle when it is really cold at night. I have found these methods to be the most effective to where I think I've finally got it kind of down to a science for me. So again, this may not work for everybody, but I have found these methods highly effective. I hope you do too. I want to thank you so much for watching. It means a lot to me. And if you're not already subscribed and you like this kind of content, maybe consider doing so, because I have some good stuff coming up for you. And we're going to see how I do with car camping now with my kind of new normal. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I'll link that video down below for you as well. And until next time, bye for now.